What's up, everyone? Welcome into Picks and Parlays. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow my social medias at Mears Hannah and download our app, available on all mobile device platforms. That way you don't miss a single second of our content, like today's message of our ACC football preview. Football is just around the corner, and you're going to want to be as well versed as possible before making any of your bets. To do that, we have Nick Parsons to bring into the show. He's got an ACC betting preview for you in regards to teams' totals coming into the season. Will they go over? Will they go under? Who's hot and who's not? Nick Parsons, enlighten us about the ACC this year in college football.
Yeah, looking forward to another great year. I played with house money in college football last year, Hannah, from start to finish. Obviously, in college football, there's so much turnover, so I had to do some research. I looked at the teams. I got all my notes ready here, so you guys bear with me. I've broken this one down. I got a few notes, and I've looked at every single team. And yeah, as Hannah said, whether they're going to go over or under their season win total here. So let's start with Pittsburgh. It's 6.5 wins. So the departure of Israel Abanikanda, it leaves Pitt with a backfield by committee approach to help, and that will help ease transfer quarterback Phil Yurkovich. But I'm going to say over 6.5 wins in this one. Virginia, only 3.5 wins projected. So obviously emotions are running high at UVA after the tragic shooting that killed 3 Cavs players. While on the field, replacing Brennan Armstrong, that's going to be a tall order, obviously. One that quarterback Anthony Collindre could pull off. This is a really low number. Hannah, I'm going to go over 3.5 wins in this one. Then we have Wake Forest at 5.5 wins. Mitch Griffiths has the potential to step in for the departing Sam Hartman, especially with the tools that Wake has at receiver. But the defensive side of the ball is still a huge question, especially on third down. But once again, I still think this is a really low total, so I'm going to go over the 5.5 wins. Then we have Miami at 7.5 wins. Now, of course, the U, it wants to get what it can from Tyler Van Dyke. He's working behind a suspect line, dealing with injuries in this off season from what I've read. So I'm going to go the under 7.5 wins. Syracuse, 6.5 wins. Dino Babers appears to be on the hot seat this season. Because he's going to be working in a new offensive coordinator, Jason Beck. He's been promoted from the quarterback's coach, and Garrett Schrader is rehabbing a shoulder injury. So I'm going to go the under 6.5 win for the Orange here. Duke, the Blue Devils, 6.5 wins is the total. Now, they won 9 games last year for the first time in almost a decade. The Blue Devils this year, they have continuity coming into the quarterback position, plus a huge week one matchup against Clemson to start off on the right foot. I don't know if they're going to win this one, but I still like Duke to go over the 6.5 wins. Boston College, 5.5 wins. It's a new look offense. And so that remains a big concern, obviously. The Eagles secondary looks to have some serious playmakers that can generate takeaways. I think we should see plenty of high-scoring totals with BC this year, but I'm going to go with the under 5.5 total wins for BC. Virginia Tech, 4.5. The Hokies, their attack left a lot to be desired in both phases, especially running the football last year. And so that's another major area of concern coming in this year. Now, I do love that Enter Sandman entrance. I love it, but I'm just going to go under 4.5 wins in this one. Georgia Tech, 4 wins. Brent Keys, his team was 1 game shy of making a bowl game last year. The task gets a little bit harder this time with Ole Miss and Georgia on the schedule, but I think that the Yellow Jackets, they can surpass this really low total, so I'm going over 4 wins for Georgia Tech. North Carolina, 8.5 wins. It's Drake May's return bodes very well for this offense. The receiving core is somewhat of an unproven commodity. The Tar Heels need to generate more pressure in the front 7. So I'm going to say under 8.5 total wins for the Tar Heels. Louisville, 7.5 wins. A ton of turnover, but also some credible potential for Jeff Brom at the skill positions, including quarterback, and in particular in the defensive backfield, thanks to some solid incoming transfers. So I'm going to go over the 7.5 wins for the Cardinals. And we are now coming down the final stretch here. 3 more teams. NC State, 6.5 wins. So, yeah, the acquisition of Brennan Armstrong in the portal to replace quarterback Devin Leary was very important, but the strength of the Wolfpack should be its defense, which from everything that I'm reading, it really has done a great job here in the spring football. So I'm going to go over 6.5 wins for the Wolfpack. Clemson, 9.5 wins. The addition of offensive coordinator Garrett Riley, it should be a game changer on paper at least, especially with Cade Klubnik in at quarterback and Will Shipley running the ball. But the wide receiver still needs a little bit of work, and Clemson has to replace blue chip skill in the front seven as well. But I think that they can go over 9.5 wins here. The Tigers, and then Florida State. It's the apparent favorite, I guess, here to win the ACC title this year. They're returning the bulk of their 10-win team from a year ago. That includes quarterback Jordan Travis, edge rusher Jared Verse. Plus, they've got a whole bunch of really high-quality transfers coming in. But here, Hannah, I'm calling for a push at 10 wins for the Seminoles.
You had a mouthful to say there. That was a lot, but very insightful. And just a quick note, I was paying attention to Pitt in the beginning. Pitt girl. Izzy Abanikanda, actually, it'll be Rodney Hammond this year. Izzy Abanikanda is on the Jets now, but I know his name has been there for so long, but regardless, Hammond got a lot of valuable snaps last year and is fantastic. So you were exactly right in saying Pitt partnering a new quarterback with the run game. Pitt's always strong in the run game. So that was 100% the way to go in predicting their total. I don't think it changes anything you said because I think that Rodney Hammond can be just as effective in the backfield. An incredible ACC football preview from Nick Parsons. Absolutely fantastic and thorough. Look forward to college football because I'm excited. And I'm excited to see if Florida State's going to remain the top dog in the ACC. What everyone's predicting, they could go a long way. Promo code MLB over on picksandparlays.net saves you 20% off of the entire site. For all things sports betting, head that way. Thank you, Nick Parsons, again. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications for more.